Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Cheap Champ Podcast. It is your host, Malcolm Hall, and you know what this podcast is about, talking about life and the cost of doing business, life and money in context. And today, I have a good friend of mine. We've done quite a few shows together, but this gentleman has taken it to a whole nother level. Would you care to introduce yourself, sir?
Comedian Juice. I feel like
Comedian Juice over here with
yeah.
the shades on, got $1 million in cash in his pocket. I see how you're moving over here. That's when you got money. That's when you got the shades on. Hold on, my name Comedian Juice. Look at me. Yeah, Comedian Juiceman. Shout out to Juiceman, doing a lot of great things, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. So we're gonna get right into it, man. You're on tour. Mm-hmm. You're producing your own tour during the middle of a pandemic.
That part.
That's crazy. Before we get into all that, man, how did you get into comedy? What got you into comedy in the first place?
I think I my whole life I kind of been funny. Like I ain't gonna say I've been funny my whole life, but more so just cracking jokes, being spontaneous, just saying whatever on my mind. Mm-hmm. I never was a follower. I always spoke my truth. So just throughout my years of just growing up, I always was in class clown. Somebody just sent me recently. I was class clown every year in grade school from first grade to 12th grade.
Nice, and I also know you play ball. You're a hooper too.
Yeah.
So when you're the class clown, but you know when you can be funny and practice kind of.
But you gotta get them grades so you can. Ain't no clown there, you can't play. So
yes,
I always do just enough to get the grades. But in class, I was funny, so I had to use my humor to get me all my teachers like me. I never went over that level of disrespectful. I always stopped right there. So I always was a C+ student.
Nothing wrong with that. See, I said I wasn't a class clown.
Yeah.
I was the cafeteria clown.
Oh, okay.
Because my people, they didn't play that doing in the classroom, so I cut up in the cafeteria. But when we in the class, no, not in class.
See, I got away with it in class. I used to say my little 3-4 gyms per class, get my life, go about my business. I knew when to get off of it. So that's what.
That's dope, man. Yeah. So I went from class clown to stand-up comedian. And where are you originally from?
I'm from born and raised. I'm in the Compton. So I was with my family originally from Alabama. So they moved out here, before I was born, and I was born here from in Compton, Gardena area.
Okay, so you're south of the 10. That's where it really goes down. See, some people think
down.
That's where it goes down. A lot of people think, Los Angeles, that's Beverly Hills, Hollywood. Damn, Los Angeles is south of the 10. But that's where I do, that's where I have all my fun and got my start in comedy in Los Angeles. So
those be the best shows. Those hood shows on the down, those off San Pedro, 109th, those type shows.
Those are the best shows, right? Now it's funny because we met outside of open mic one time, and we, when we first met, we clicked, and you.
Instantly,
I remember you saying, "Look, man, I'm gonna put on my own shows. I'm gonna get this comedy thing." Like first thing out the gate, you were talking about putting your own shows on. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, how the hell you gonna do that? So. And it's been amazing just to watch you grow, going from an open mic to putting on your own shows. Because you've done it. You started out at the Comedy Union. Comedy Union is no longer alone.
Yeah, it was a black-owned club.
Black-owned club. Shout out to the Comedy Union. Shout out to Ends.
I was actually trying to, since the pandemic happened, I've been reaching out to the people up there. I was trying to buy the Comedy Union, take over it. But and nobody hit me back. I think it's over with now.
Yeah, I think it's over with. It's been painted and all that good stuff. Yeah. So, but with producing, being a comedian is one thing. Mm-hmm. Going up, you hit somebody up, you come do your time, and you leave. Mm-hmm. But I've also, I haven't produced my own tour yet. But I've also, we produced the show, and producing show is a lot. You got a lot going on.
Anniversary just passed. I don't know if you got another.
I did get the So we did have an anniversary.
We did the what was
the Tap In Comedy Show.
Tap In Comedy every other Monday.
That goes on Pico.
Yeah,
right. So that was definitely dope, man. But what's it like producing the show? Because I know it's hectic.
Yeah, it's a headache. It comes with a certain level of stress, but overall, it's a good experience. You know for sure you guarantee yourself to get on stage. You know for sure you guaranteeing based off the work you put in, you're gonna get back. You'll just dues in due time. It's a little stressful because you gotta pay a lot of stuff up front. So you're paying for venues, you're paying for comedians, flights, hotels, travel up front. So that means that, and then on the back end you try to get your money back, but if things don't go right in the middle area, things will get a little shaky. So
that upfront investment is crucial.
That first,
and that's like putting on a tour because when you're producing your show in somebody's building, so basically all you're really responsible for is making sure some butts in the seats, you get some drinks, and you cool. Yeah. But when you're producing the show, look. I just got the building. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Nothing else. Yeah. So that's a whole nother experience.
I got a great team though. I got a team of people now throughout the years, I've been able to find people that really believe in what I'm trying to do, what I believe in, what we're trying to create for the culture. So now we've been getting it done. We jump on Zoom calls every 2 weeks, go over logistics, go over numbers, go over marketing strategy. So it's tough, but it's been a great experience so far for sure.
Now, with some of those costs associated with it,
Yeah.
finding a venue, that's a difficult thing. You know, you
Yeah.
think finding an apartment is hard.
Ah,
Hell,
man.
finding a building
During the pandemic.
during the pandemic, finding a building, period, is just hard. It's just hard to find a damn building. I don't care what you know, whatever you say, and whether it's a dress, an apartment, a comedy venue, a daycare. It's hard to find a venue. So finding these comedy venues, how do you go about doing it? Because you don't always be getting a comedy club.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like the traditional route of just doing comedy. I never actually did for my whole 8 years of producing my own shows. I always try to do I don't like the traditional route. I always go do lounges, venues, places where, me and the venue, we do partnerships. We partner up together. We both put in some skin in the game and we both win. So that's kind of what I focus on, is like kind of do outside of comedy clubs. But in terms of like the logistics for it, it's a lot of process, a lot of organizing, a lot of numbers up front. Because it got to make sense for both parties. That's what's important.
Can you give us some detail on some of the logistics? Like, how do I know a good building? Because it might be cheap,
yeah,
but it may not be good.
So for me, like for example, like what I look for, like, I know my audience. I've been doing comedy 8 years. I've been producing my own shows for 8 years as well. So I know what they look for. I know how to bring people out. So I always look for a venue. If I think it's a vibe, if I think people will come out, if I think it's in a neutral area, white, black, Asian, Indian, fat, skinny, red, white. If it's in a general place where people will come and feel safe, that's important. The venue size, how many people will hold, the setup for the drinks, the setup for the bar, the lighting. These are all the things I look for. Then the price. If the price is right and all those things is on point and the price is right, we book the venue, we sell it out.
Somebody who's not good at math, how would they know how to figure out how much to sell tickets for?
If you ain't good at math, you shouldn't be doing the shows and probably produce your own shows.
I think it's a very simple equation. How many seats? Boom. How much did the venue cost?
Yeah.
It's easy math, but some people don't do it.
Well, you think it's easy math, but it's really not. Because even like, for example, like if you get a venue for $200 and then you do like, all right, the venue costs $200. I'm gonna do $200 tickets. I'm gonna do $20 tickets. I'm gonna try to get my money back off $20 tickets and do whatever that number look like. But then on top of that, it costs marketing, it costs putting money in to make money. So you got to have a team of people who can shoot stuff for you. You got to have a team of people that can go out and pass out flyers. You got to have radio promos or whatever promos you're going to do. You got to pay for that. So you got to give out some free tickets. So you may have a venue that holds 40 people, but you may have to give out 30, 20 tickets just to fill it up. And now you're selling the rest. So you got to be strategic on your numbers. Numbers can be tricky because it just depends. You get some shows I got some shows I barely put any marketing into and it sold out instantly. And I got other shows I put a lot of marketing into it and it barely sold out. So it just depends on figuring it out. The timing is important. The weather is important. All these little small things, the day of, are very important.
I think you're a genius at marketing. You put me on some good stuff.
Yeah,
you put me on Contagious. Yeah. Contagious is a very good book. Marketing. Yeah.
Learned that from watching the interview with Nipsey Hussle. Shout out to the late great Nipsey Hussle.
Shout out to late great Nipsey Hussle.
A lot of gain from that interview. A lot of gain from that book. Took my business to another level. So,
right.
Yeah.
And so, what's some of the marketing? Because man, you're always in the people's face. They always know what you got going on.
Non-stop.
How do you go about number one? A marketing campaign?
Great. That's a great question. I love when I do interviews and people ask questions that's actually going to be beneficial. People going to get some information. So when it comes to my campaign, well, even with the dates, the cities, everything, every date, every city I do is never on purpose. I don't just book cities or book dates. I book venues that make sense. Whether if I got an NBA friend that's in that city that can help me promote, whether if I got some comedians down there or I got some anywhere I do shows, I got some leg work, I got some people in the city that's going to help me do it. So that's very important. Now, I want you to understand that it's possible to sell out a venue and sell out venues in different states, different cities. You just got to have a strategic way of going about it. So we try to go grassroots, get in the streets, get in front of people. We look for numbers. I always want 10% of my investment. So if I want 1,000 people, I'm getting in front of 10,000 people. If I need 10,000 people, 100,000, we got to get to work. So that's kind of our method and our game plan. We do social media, we do grassroots in the streets, putting up flyers, and then we do the social media. It's a combination of everything to sell out the show. Most people do 1 or 2 things. I try to do 60.
Dang.
60 always sell you out shows. And being honest with you, I charge you everything.
And that's a lot of work selling out shows because
Yeah.
man, passing out flyers
Yeah.
and all this good stuff. But you keep mentioning that you have a team.
Mhm.
Now, a lot of people in comedy don't like to work as a team.
Yeah.
Comedy is a
It's a
solo
mistake.
sport.
Yeah.
It's a very solo sport,
Yeah.
and I'm in the process of now trying to build a team. Help me
Yeah.
get this. I need
Smart.
a podcast
Yeah,
producer.
smart.
So
That's a smart man.
exactly.
He gonna get a team and he gonna come back like, bro, having a team is never level, bro.
Hey,
You gotta be. It comes with a level of responsibility too. You know, with great power comes great responsibility. So you got. For me, I've been having a team throughout this whole process, but getting a strong team, getting a team that's consistent, just come with time. I have to learn how to be a better leader, learn how to lead. For example, get my vision out clear so they can understand what we got to do, motivate them. I'm one of the type of leaders where I'm hands front line for up 6 a.m. If I'm telling you to pass out flyers, I already went out in the morning, did them. I'm like that. So I try anything I ask my team to do, I'll do it 100 times. So that's kind of my motto.
Now, some of the you're on tour right now. Life is a Joke comedy tour.
Check it out.
Life is a Joke. You got 2 cities down right now.
2 cities.
You done Los Angeles and Las Vegas.
Both sold out. So that's what's that? 4. We did 2 shows in LA and we did 3 shows in Vegas. So we sold out our first 5 shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's it been going? How was the first show from the second show? Is there anything you learned? Like, okay, boom, we can do this different from Vegas, from LA.
Well, even like I was just saying, just being strategic about planning a tour during the pandemic. I was planning this tour during the time when my fiance was having my daughter, which is Destiny. So one of the main things I wanted to focus on was keeping the revenue high as possible and keeping my expenses low, but also giving me some cushion so I have some wiggle room to build up the tour revenue as we go. So that's why we started off with LA, which is smart because I'm from here. We don't have to do no traveling. We don't have to do a lot. Next, you want to test out our traveling and see if we can sell out venues outside of California. So we tested out Vegas, and now based off those logistics and fine tuning what works, what don't, we're now moving on to the big finale, which is our biggest shows of the tours, Oklahoma City and Tulsa. So,
nice.
And so going through that process, it was just we started off with about 20 comedians on tour. And then throughout the process of having them promoted, getting everybody flyers, we creating all these content things to put out, I realized we need to cut down on comedians. So that was one of the things that from this first show in LA to the second stop in Vegas, we kind of cut down. And then from Vegas to going to Oklahoma, we actually moved it down. So we only have 5 comedians on tour with us now.
So did you cut comedians to save cost? Is that helping you save money?
I cut comedians for a few reasons. I cut comedians for sure to cut costs, but also just for I don't like people that's entitled. You feel me? I don't like people that feel like as a producer, as my brand, I owe you anything. I don't owe anyone anything. As a producer, my job is to put on a great show and a great production. So I want people to work as hard as I need to be, So when I feel like you're not matching my work ethic or you're not living up to my expectations, I'll remove you because I'm real big on respect and running my business top to bottom A1.
How do you go about finding good comedians to take on tour?
I'll find people that's in the streets hustling like yourself. I mean, it's only a matter of time for you to add you to the tour, but just different people that I know in the streets that I see every day doing open mics, doing shows, producing shows. I look for people that are more than comedians. Anybody can be funny, tell jokes, haha, that's cool, but I want you to teach my guests, our audience, about how to be better, how to learn, how to be a better business person, how to be a better father, how to go through some things and grow up and get through it. So I look for comedians like that. And main thing I look for, number one, is a hustler. If you're a hustler, I'm gonna sell out every venue, every city we go to anyway. If you hustling, if you in the streets and you active, proactive, making stuff happen, I got you.
Right.
I'm gonna find you. Whatever city you in, whatever market, I'm gonna find you because I look for real hustlers.
He gonna find you wherever you at.
Always do.
And with the tour,
yeah,
you're moving around all these places. Like for my podcast is mobile in the travel. How are you keeping everything organized? There's a lot of stuff going on. Are you using any like Excel sheets or what kind of tools do you use to keep everything organized?
That's a great question too. Well, honestly, a lot of stuff is in my head, which I actually have been recently. I have an assistant, I'm going through that process. Getting a real good assistant is important, just because she gave me to put down on paper all my ideas, and I could go from great ideas to mediocre ideas to ideas that we shouldn't do, and kind of build an organization from there. So that's important. But overall, I feel like if I put too much to be too organized for my brain, my creativity kind of shut me down. So I kind of like to have my assistant be organized and me kind of just throw out ideas as we go.
Okay.
If I can keep coming out with creative marketing tools that's not inside. I never want to lock myself into a box. I feel like that's one of the reasons I started my own brand, because I could do what I want. I could say what I want. I can express myself how I feel fit, which is important.
Nice. So, and being a tour, you're truly running a business. It's a real business. It's a real business, and it's a business that's mobile. It moves around. You have different employees and all this good stuff. What do you see? Where do you see after the tour is over? Where do you see everything? Are you going to go on another tour, or are you going to go back? Because you had the open mic spot too.
We had
so
the club going. We had the club. Honestly, from learning from the experience of learning about having a brick and mortar or a venue, when you have to pay at least every month, you have to bring a certain amount of revenue to make profit. I'm probably going to stay on tour for a little while. Tour is going really well. I look at tours as a place where rather than me having a venue for 30 days I got to pay on, I'm renting out a venue for one night and maximizing my capital and getting up out of there and staying mobile. I'm gonna stay moving, stay traveling, build my fan base. I got a lot of fans throughout the world to tap into. So I think me touring is the way to go.
Nice.
It's gonna get bigger. We're gonna just add more cities and we're gonna get stronger.
What keeps you so confident about how everything is going? Because a lot of, as a comedy, you got to be confident on stage, but in business, you damn sure got to be confident because you got to. Confident comedy, one thing, you get on stage, you're hoping for the last. Business, I put up my money, I put up my time, and I don't know what I'm gonna get. Well, you do once you plan and get things going, but you're still putting up an additional investment. And I don't know what but you're still confident all through that. How do you manage that?
I don't want to sound like cocky or but being honest, I'm good. I know my production. I know the effort that we put in. I know the time. I know the money. I know the heart, the drive, the sweat that we put into my production. It's a lot of work. So by the time the show hit, I already know it's going to sell out. I already know it's going to be a good production. So I'm confident the whole way through because I have nothing but my past successful events to base my upcoming shows about. So that's kind of my mentality. Every show I see it as my last, and I also see it as my first. So that's why I always grow.
Well, I don't see that as confident at all because, like you said, I'm a person. I like to hang my hat on the hard work. Yeah. Like, look, well, you're confident, cocky. Man, just go look at the work. I'm not confident. I'm cocky about the work I put in, which you can trace that back to results. You can see the time. You can see everything.
You go back second grade. I mean, I'm the first one on the playground trying to play kickball to get. I'm being with it.
And if you look at anybody that's great, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Jeff Bezos, you get anybody that's great.
You see what I'm saying?
Everybody has a whole body of work that they put in. People didn't just get lucky and get good.
Ain't no overnight success. It's grind. It's years of grinding, and then boom, the world see the grind that you've been putting in for years, and they act like it's overnight. But we know the grind.
Because I'm not a believer in natural talent. Yeah, I mean, you're born with natural talent, but with undeveloped talent, it's not gonna get you nowhere.
You got all the potential in the world. If you don't blossom nothing, you still ain't. Can I cuss on this show?
Yeah.
You still ain't shit. You ain't shit. You have all the potential, all the recruits. Everybody's saying you're gonna be this great star. You're gonna be, but if you ain't put in the work and you ain't consistent, you're gonna be at home doing nothing, watching me.
You're gonna be at home. And that's sports teaches you about that.
Yeah, sports definitely teach you that.
You see some real talented people. I'm like, why won't he work? He would be in such a good spot if he worked.
I hated me. I was the one that led by example. My coach literally told me I went to a really good basketball school. Shout out to Lutheran High School. We had like 4 pros. We only lost 11 times all through my 4 years of high school. So that's how good we was. But for me, the reason I was on the team was because of my work ethic. My coach kept me on the team to motivate all the other players. He wanted our best players to see how hard I worked every day, how much I brought it every day. On top of that, throughout that 4 years of doing it, I got better. I became a solid, varsity basketball player by being in the gym every day. So when I brought that mentality to comedy and started reading and started teaching myself and re-educating myself about who I really am and what I'm really capable of, business and producing comedy, opening up a comedy club and producing a basketball league, all these things is right under my alley. Is what I was supposed to be doing, honestly.
That hard work.
It's the hard work.
Translates over to everything. Yeah. And not even just a tour, but also, just hitting the mics and getting good at stand-up, because stand-up is tough.
Learning from your failures. Like, I mean, it be stuff that I'll be trying to express to people that it be the little stuff for me. Like, it be stuff, for example, like I'm so in detail with my production. Like I'm going out to Oklahoma City next week to start promoting for a show that's a month away. So everything matters. You know what I'm saying? The size of my logo matters. You see me, the size of the color of the logo, where we're going matters. All these things I think about because I want to maximize the people seeing me, and I want to maximize my impact when I'm in these places. You know what I mean? So that's what I think about.
And that carefully, like you said, the logo matters, the color
you can't have a
matters.
little logo, when you in the city and you. For me, I'm only in the city for 5 days. I want everybody to see big on my chest my logo, so you know what Life is a Joke is. You see the cities in the back. You be like, oh, I'm gonna buy a ticket. You see it everywhere. Right. And that's how my thing is. I want to be visual. I don't want to be small. I want to be bold and out there. Like we here. Right. We are.
That's how I feel about Cheap Not Broke.
That part. Here. We here. Ain't no, you know what I mean?
It's a lifestyle. But before we get up out of here, man, what would you give to somebody who's, especially in comedy, because there's a stigma around comedians not being good business people.
Yeah.
It's like, oh well, you just do comedy and we're just funny. Like, now you gotta be top end on your business too.
That's a real stigma though. I think that's a real thing. As a person that's been producing shows for 8 years the whole way through, a lot of comedians gotta step up they business mentality, they business mindset. They gotta educate themselves. They gotta understand that it ain't just about telling jokes and showing up and bringing people. It's about a production. It's about being reliable. It's like if you're my assistant and can I count on you not to quit when things get tough? Can I count on you to come everywhere we go, be where we need to be? If you're a comedian, you about to be on my show, can I count on you to be on time? Can I count on you to do the work that you're gonna do? Can I count on you to promote the show? That way I continue to book you. A lot of people just worry about short-term growth and they're not worried about long-term. I look for people who book me. I want you to book me every other week. I'm trying to be the best artist, the most professional, most on time, and then the most funny. Because that's how you get booked, but they don't know that.
That's how you get booked.
That's how you get booked. I don't look for nobody that ain't hustling. If you ain't hustling, don't think I'm the savior. I don't save people.
He don't say.
I create opportunities. I don't save nobody.
Right on. So where can they find you at? Where can they purchase a ticket? Where can they purchase something for this tour?
Tap in. Yeah, man.
Well, first off, what cities are you hitting? Let's list all the cities.
So we just finished at Los Angeles on my birthday weekend. We just knocked out Vegas. We got Oklahoma City coming up next, May 21st. May 22nd, we got Tulsa. That's where the Black Wall Street started.
Shout out Black Wall Street.
The Tulsa massacre. That's phenomenal. That's historic. That's a big thing. So to go back there, with all that love, all that entrepreneur spirit to go do a show is gonna be dope. After that, we coming back home to LA because everybody loved the first show so much. We're doing a round 2 in LA, June 4th and June 5th. We're doing that at a private venue in at the Hollywood. And then after that, we're going to do Atlanta. And then we got DC. We're going to take a couple of months off, re-strategize, see what works, see what did it. Then we're going on 40 more days.
Nice.
That part. So you can find us at Instagram, Life is a Joke Comedy Tour, Facebook, Life is a Joke Comedy Tour. If you personally want to see me or follow me, it's I am Juiceman with 2 N's. And man, I appreciate this platform. Appreciate you interviewing me, people listening. I hope y'all got the game and information because it's real. It worked. I'm using everything I'm talking about. I'm using step by step every day in my day-to-day life. I pay my bills off my tour. When people buy from me, I respect them because they help me be me. So you know what I mean? So everybody that's been supporting the movement, Life is a Joke tour, that's about to start supporting, thank you ahead of time. Let's get this money. Let's keep growing. Let's inspire people. Let's motivate. I hope me chasing my dream on tour in the pandemic make you get off your ass and do the same thing. I ain't no better than y'all. What you waiting on?
Hey, well, I'll say you motivated me, man. Since then, we started off my Cheap Not Broke Instagram page came on you because I remember the time, man, you need to start a second page.
I told you.
All this good stuff. And years later, and one thing about me, most people can tell you, man, when you tell me to do something, I'm gonna get it done today.
Let me jump in on that. Let me piggyback on that. One thing I can say about Malcolm is that you ask me questions, you'll call me on the phone 20, 30 minutes, ask me this, ask me that, and within weeks I'll see you implement that information, that game I gave you. For anybody that do that or call me or who do that, I'm gonna always share you game or always give you information. Don't waste my time.
Right.
My time is valuable. I'm only on this earth for a very small amount of time. Don't waste my time.
Don't waste the time, get it done, and be about your business and be professional. It's very important. Like when I do this podcast, I'm constantly trying to be more professional because I'm taking people's time. So I try to be respectful. I was here at 6 o'clock.
Vice versa. I don't know if you can smell. You smell the pine saw in here? Mm-hmm. I put a candle in here. I cleaned up my house. I was professional for you to be professional. You feel me? I don't care if this is my homeboy Malcolm. Any interview, any podcast, anybody that gives me the opportunity to share my story, I'm going to respect them and do what I got to do.
Man, professionalism is always appreciated. Pressure to take it to Life is a Joke Comedy Tour. Follow them on Instagram. And we hope this information has been helpful to you. And you learn about, if you want to understand how to run a show and run a business. At one point, I remember you're going to have some courses coming on how to book tenures, but Hey,
Yeah.
At some
I'm
point,
starting a class on how to book a tour, do comedy shows, produce comedy shows, book talent, all that. It's on the rise coming real soon. We're gonna be dropping that probably by the end of the year, matter of fact.
right? Because if you don't want to be the talent, you can manage it.
Yeah. And then also too, I want to just stress too. I don't want a lot of times with what we going through right now with social media, people be scared to start a business, scared to put out their business ideas or share with other people because they don't have a lot of following or they don't get a lot of likes. You gotta stop worrying about that. It's a market and it's a fan base and it's an audience for everybody. But if you following everybody else, doing everybody else, they never gonna find you. Just some game for y'all more.
Boom. So until next week, this has been the Cheap Champ. Oh, if you have any questions or if you want to learn how to save money, all that good stuff, www.stressmoneyless.com. And we thank our sponsors, Cheap Not Broke. You can get a shirt or purchase anything or learn how to save some money. Travel cheap at www.cheapnotbroke.com. See you next week.